At our divorce hearing, my cheating wife showed up 6 months pregnant and smiled. "See what you lost?" I replied. "Do I know the father?" Then my lawyer handed the judge the evidence that her affair started 9 months ago. When the timeline didn't match her story, original post I, 36 male, caught my wife, 34, cheating in the most mundane way possible. Her phone buzzed while she was in the shower. I glanced at it because we never had privacy issues, or so I thought. "Last night was incredible, can't stop thinking about you." The contact name? Gym, membership renewal. Pretty sure the gym doesn't send heart emojis. I didn't freak out, didn't confront her, just sat there staring at that message while the shower kept running. When she came out, I was perfectly normal. "How was your workout?" "Oh, good. Really pushing myself lately." "Yeah, I bet." That night, she said she was meeting friends for dinner. I said, "Cool, have fun." Then I followed her, watched her walk into some apartment complex, waited. She came out hours later looking way too happy for someone who'd just had dinner with the girls. Got home before her. When she arrived, she launched into this whole story about drama with her friends and wasn't dinner fun and blah blah blah. I just nodded, smiled, acted normal. The next morning, I called a divorce lawyer. Here's the thing about me. I'm not the dramatic confrontation type. I'm the gather evidence and handle it legally type. Spent the next couple weeks documenting everything. Phone records showing hundreds of calls and texts to one number. Credit card statements with hotel charges I didn't make. GPS data from that family tracking app she'd insisted we get for safety. Then I filed. Had her served at work because I'm petty enough to want witnesses, but not cruel enough to do it at her mom's house or something. She came home that evening absolutely raging. "You had me served? At my job? In front of everyone? You're having an affair. I want a divorce, pretty straightforward." "I am not having an affair. You're paranoid. This is exactly why our marriage is falling apart. You don't trust me." I pulled out my phone, pulled up the phone records, the GPS history, the hotel charges on our credit card. Her expression cycled through shock, panic, anger, and landed on indignant. "So what? You're boring. You never pay attention to me anymore. This is your fault for pushing me away." The mental gymnastics were almost impressive. "Cool story. I want you out by the weekend." "This is my house too. It's in both names, but I can afford the mortgage. You can't. So pack." She tried crying, then yelling, then the whole "we can work on this" routine. I just kept boxing up her stuff. She left that weekend, moved in with her sister. And that's when the real fun began. Update 1. The divorce process started, and my wife's demands were absolutely delusional. Her lawyer sent over her wish list. The house that my inheritance paid the down payment for. Both cars, mine that's paid off, hers that she's still paying for. Half my retirement, $4,000 monthly alimony for 10 years. All the furniture we bought together. Our dog that I'd raised from a puppy before we even met. My lawyer looked at the list and actually laughed. "She wants everything except your student loan debt. How generous." But the demands were just the start. Her family launched a full-scale harassment campaign. Her mother called me from different numbers after I blocked her. Finally ambushed me at my office. "You can't just throw away 8 years over one little mistake." It wasn't one mistake. It was months of lying and cheating. "She loves you. She's been crying every single day. Don't you care? She should have thought about that before sleeping with someone else. You're going to regret this. She could have given you children, a real family." That one stung. We'd been trying for a kid for over a year. Guess I know why it wasn't happening. She was busy with other activities. Then the dirty tricks started. Someone reported my car stolen. Got pulled over, spent hours at the police station proving it was mine. Couldn't prove who made the false report, but I knew. My credit card got frozen. Someone reported it stolen. Took days to fix. Gym membership canceled. Streaming services locked me out. Small annoying crap I couldn't prove but obviously knew who was behind it. My lawyer just said, "Document everything. Pattern of harassment." But then things took a weird turn. Her lawyer called mine with an offer. My client will significantly reduce her demands for a quick settlement. How significantly? Just the house and one car. No alimony. Clean split. My lawyer and I looked at each other. Red flags everywhere. What's the catch? No catch. She wants this over fast. We'll think about it. Something was off. Why the sudden rush to settle? That weekend I ran into one of her friends at the store. This woman had been at our wedding, had been to our house dozens of times. She saw me and immediately looked uncomfortable. "Hey," I said casually. "How's it going?" "Oh, fine. Listen, I'm really sorry about everything." "Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, the timing is just really unfortunate with everything." "What timing?" She looked confused. "You don't know?" "Know what?" She opened her mouth, closed it, looked panicked. "Nothing. I should go. Take care." She basically ran away from me, spent the next week trying to figure out what that meant. My lawyer started digging into my wife's financials, looking for hidden assets or accounts, and that's when we found it. She'd started seeing a new doctor, an OBGYN specialist. My lawyer made some calls, pulled some strings. Medical records are tricky in divorces, but there are ways to find things when you know where to look. My wife was pregnant, already showing actually. Pretty far along based on the appointment dates. That's why she wanted the fast settlement, get the house, get out, raise her affair baby without me knowing the truth. When I found out, I just sat there for a minute. Then I looked at my lawyer. She was smiling. Not a friendly smile, a shark smile. "Oh," she said quietly. "This changes everything." Update 2. Once we knew about the pregnancy, everything clicked into place. The rushed settlement offer, the sudden willingness to take less, her family's increased desperation in their calls. She was trying to get out before I found out she was pregnant with her affair partner's baby. My lawyer started building a timeline. When the affair started, when conception would have occurred, when my wife and I last had any physical intimacy. The math was damning. We hadn't slept together in almost a year. She was now visibly pregnant. The affair had been going on for longer than she'd admitted. Then her sister called me. Different approach this time, not aggressive, almost pleading. "She's pregnant." "I know." Long silence. "You know?" "Yeah, found out a few weeks ago." "Oh, she was going to tell you herself." "I'm sure she was. Right around the time she tried to screw me in that settlement offer?" "She's scared. She's alone. She's about to have a baby. Not my problem. It might be yours." I actually laughed. The timeline doesn't work. We haven't been together in almost a year. She's 6 months pregnant. Even you can do that math. She said you were together, right before you filed. She's lying. But good to know what story she's planning to tell in court. Hung up. Called my lawyer immediately. They're going to claim the baby might be mine. My lawyer was already prepared. "I've got phone records, text logs, your work travel showing you were out of state during the likely conception window. And we have proof her affair started way before that. She won't be able to make it stick." So what happens now? Now we wait for the hearing, and we let her dig her own grave. The next development came when her lawyer filed an amended petition. New claims. The baby might be mine. I abandoned her while pregnant. She needed the house for our child's stability. She needed extra support for her delicate condition. I was being vindictive and cruel by not supporting my possible child. The audacity was breathtaking. My lawyer's response was surgical. We demanded paternity testing. We provided evidence showing physical intimacy was impossible during the conception period based on work travel and documented separation. We attached the affair partner's phone records showing constant contact during conception. But here's where it got really interesting. My lawyer did some digging on my wife's affair partner. Turns out he was married, with kids, and his wife had absolutely no idea. My lawyer didn't contact her directly. That would have been unethical. But she made sure certain information ended up in public court filings where anyone could find it, including a very observant, very angry wife. Word got back to me that the guy got kicked out of his house, showed up at my wife's sister's place where she was staying. Apparently that went about as well as you'd expect, two cheaters blaming each other for ruining their lives. Then the day before our hearing, my wife broke her own no-contact rule and called me directly. "We need to talk, please. Everything goes through lawyers. I'm begging you. Don't do this to me in court." "Do what?" "Tell the truth. Don't bring up the pregnancy. Please, I'll give you whatever you want. Keep the house, keep everything. Just don't humiliate me. You're 6 months pregnant with another man's baby and tried to pass it off as mine to get the house. You humiliated yourself." "I never said it was yours." My sister assumed. Your legal filing literally claims I abandoned you while pregnant with our child. Try again. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He won't talk to me. I have nothing. For a second, just a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered her lying to my face about girls' night while GPS showed she was at a hotel. You should have thought of that before you cheated. See you in court. The day of the hearing arrived. I got there early with my lawyer, who'd spent the morning preparing me for what to expect. What I wasn't prepared for was my wife walking in visibly pregnant, wearing a dress that deliberately emphasized her belly, flanked by her mother and sister like some kind of wronged heroine. She saw me and smiled. Actually smiled. This smug little smile like she'd already won. She sat down, whispered something to her lawyer, then turned back to look at me. See what you lost? She said it loud enough for everyone to hear. The court reporter, the bailiff, both lawyers, everyone. I looked at my lawyer. She was fighting back a grin. I looked back at my wife. Do I know the father? Her face went from smug to crimson in about half a second. You're the father. This is your baby. Weird. We haven't had sex in almost a year, and you're 6 months pregnant. Math isn't really working out there. Her lawyer looked like she wanted to disappear. Her mother started sputtering something, but the bailiff called for order. The judge walked in. Middle-aged woman with zero patience on her face. Time for the show. Final update. The hearing was everything I'd hoped for, and nothing my wife expected. The judge started with standard questions. Assets, timeline, grounds for separation. Then she got to the amended petition. I see there's a claim regarding pregnancy and potential paternity. My wife's lawyer stood up, looking uncomfortable. Yes, Your Honor, my client is currently pregnant and there's a possibility. My lawyer cut in. Your Honor, I'd like to submit evidence that makes paternity biologically impossible. She handed over a thick file. My work travel records, hotel receipts from business trips, credit card statements, text records showing my wife and I barely communicated, phone logs showing her constant contact with her affair partner during the conception period. The judge reviewed the documents. Her expression got progressively less sympathetic. She looked up at my wife. Mrs., you claim your husband abandoned you while pregnant with his child. According to this evidence, you were engaged in an extramarital affair during the entire conception period. My wife's lawyer tried to object. Your Honor, my client's personal relationships. Your client made them relevant by claiming abandonment and requesting increased support based on pregnancy. I'm establishing facts. The judge turned back to my wife. Is this baby your husband's? My wife looked at her lawyer, looked at her mother, looked anywhere but at the judge. It could be. Could be? Were you intimate with your husband during the conception window? Silence. Mrs., you're under oath. Answer the question. We hadn't been together for a while. Define a while. More silence. The judge's patience was evaporating. I have evidence showing you had an extramarital affair for an extended period. You're 6 months pregnant. You haven't been intimate with your husband in nearly a year. Unless we're dealing with an immaculate conception, this baby's father is your affair partner. Correct? My wife started crying. He left me. When he found out I was pregnant, he left. I have nobody. The judge looked completely unimpressed. That's unfortunate. It doesn't entitle you to defraud your husband by claiming he's the father when the timeline makes that impossible. My wife's lawyer tried again. Your Honor, my client is in a very vulnerable position because of choices she made. Let's discuss asset division. What followed was surgical. The house, I got it. Since my inheritance funded the down payment and I'd paid most of the mortgage, I got the house. She got 30% of the equity when it sold or when I refinanced. Cars, she kept the one she was making payments on. I kept mine. Retirement, standard 50-50 split of marital assets accumulated during marriage. Cost me about $32,000. Alimony, here's where the judge got creative. My wife wanted $4,000 monthly for 10 years. The judge awarded $1,800 monthly for 2 years. She specifically called it rehabilitative support to allow respondent to gain employment skills. Then she added, this court notes that respondent's extramarital affair and resulting pregnancy were factors in this decision. While we operate under no-fault divorce laws, I'm not obligated to reward fraudulent behavior in financial settlements. My wife was sobbing. Her mother looked ready to explode. Her sister just sat there in shock, but the judge wasn't finished. I'm also ordering respondent to pay petitioner's legal fees due to the misleading paternity claims. That's $18,000. My wife's lawyer actually gasped. Your Honor, my client can't possibly afford. Then she'll arrange a payment plan. This hearing is adjourned. Gavel down. My wife's entire support system swarmed her, everyone talking over each other. Her lawyer was frantically packing up papers. I just sat there with my lawyer, who was very professionally not gloating. Well, she said quietly, that went well. Yeah, it did. Outside the courthouse, my wife's mother cornered me one last time. I hope you're happy. My daughter is homeless and pregnant, and you just destroyed her. She destroyed herself. I'm just not paying for her mistakes. That baby might still be yours. You could be abandoning your own child. My lawyer stepped between us. Ma'am, if your daughter pursues that claim, we'll demand a court-ordered paternity test. When it proves my client isn't the father, we'll sue for fraud and intentional infliction of emotional distress. I suggest you advise your daughter to accept reality. We left them standing there. The aftermath has been quiet. She moved back in with her parents. From what I heard through mutual friends, she's working part-time retail and living off the alimony. The baby was born a few months after the hearing. Her affair partner's name is on the birth certificate. He's paying child support but wants nothing to do with either of them. The house sold fast, got way over asking. After paying off the mortgage and giving her the 30%, I cleared enough to buy a smaller place outright. Closed on a 2-bedroom condo recently. My dog loves it. It's quiet and it's mine and nobody's lying to me in it. Total cost of the divorce, about $32,000 in retirement split. Paid my own $18,000 in initial legal fees. Got reimbursed for the $18,000 the judge ordered her to pay, and I'm paying her $1,800 monthly for the next couple years. All told, about $50,000 plus fees. Worth every penny. Started seeing someone new. She's a paralegal who actually helped with some of the divorce paperwork at a different firm. She knows the whole story. Her reaction? Your ex tried to commit paternity fraud and got caught red-handed. That's not you being cruel, that's karma. Yeah, I'm keeping her. Ran into my ex at the grocery store recently. She was pushing a stroller, looking exhausted, saw me and immediately tried to go the other way. I just kept shopping. Not my circus. Definitely not my monkey. Absolutely not my baby. Her sister sent me a message last week. She's struggling. Baby cries constantly. She's exhausted. Sometimes she asks about you. Blocked her immediately. Because here's the truth. I'm not the villain here. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I didn't try to trap someone into raising another man's baby. I just refused to be a doormat and let her face the consequences of her actions. She wanted everything. The affair, the lifestyle I provided, the house, and when she got pregnant, she wanted me to fund it all by implying I was the father. The judge saw through it. The timeline didn't lie, and now she's living with the results of her choices. As for me, I'm good, better than good. The condo's great, job's stable, new relationship is healthy and honest, my dog's happy, the retirement account will recover, and I sleep perfectly at night knowing I handled this with integrity, documented everything, told the truth, and let her destroy herself with her own lies. That moment in court when she said, "See what you lost?" And I replied, "Do I know the father?" That was everything. Watching her smug smile vanish, watching the judge read through the evidence and dismantle her claims one by one, watching her mother realize her daughter had been lying to everyone. That was justice. Pure, simple consequences. To anyone dealing with something similar, document everything. Get a good lawyer. Tell the truth. Let the manipulators hang themselves with their own lies. Judges are excellent at spotting fraud. The chapter's closed, the divorce is final, the house is sold. I'm free. And she gets to explain to her kids someday why daddy isn't around and why she tried to trick someone else into being daddy. Not my problem anymore.